Hi, Jason. Are you letting me start?
Did you like that? I was going to say, if I don't just say hi, Jess, I'll see how long it takes before you just say hi to me.
When we did a mashup, like a reel of like one of our anniversaries, JC or Lee, I don't remember who made it, grabbed hi Jess from like the beginning of every single one because you always start.
Look at Daryl said the highlight of his week. I hope he's talking about this show because if he is, like, let's fricking go. John, I'm so sorry to hear about your the crash and close to your house. I hope everything's
Mm.
okay. Um, so it's Friday, May 23rd, right? Memorial Weekend is it's so crazy. This year is just flying by, isn't it? Like flying, 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 flying.
I know. But I'm kind of like I need the next 2 weeks to be done. If anybody who still has school age kids, I've been to more band, choir, orchestra, concerts, seventh grade recognition, eighth grade recognition. I have my third musical tonight. Oh, and we still have last day of school field trips. I need the month to be over.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Yes,
crazy.
last Sunday night we had the softball banquet.
My son, unfortunately, their baseball team lost and got eliminated last night. So that was a bummer, but
I know, that is a
all of a
bummer.
sudden frees up time on the calendar, interestingly enough, at the same time. So
You
you
get to
deal with a few tears, and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden the next morning the tears are gone, even though I think I'm still crying on the inside, but he's already moved on. So it's kind of interesting how that works. Jess looks a little windswept.
I did just walk in my front door
She
45
just
minutes.
got off a plane, one of those planes where the windows were open the whole time. That's why that she looks like that.
And I made the mistake. I saved my run yesterday in Fort Lauderdale. I sat all day in an analyst day. And so instead of getting up early and getting out to run around a little bit, I figured move my body after sitting for 10 hours straight. By that point, it was still hot, still humid, and raining. So I had a little bit of a drencher of a beach run, but it was fine.
So welcome to the Now of Work meetup, everyone. Really, really excited you're here. Episode number 200 and what was that number?
261.
261. Great to see 261 in the books. Hey, does anyone know that song? Jess, did you know that song?
I don't know the name of it, but I think I could sing the whole thing.
You don't know, do you know the artist?
No,
I'm gonna see if anyone does.
you will tell us. Panic
That's a
at
first, that's a hint.
at the disco.
Yes.
That's the only
Panic at the
full name
Disco.
of a band name.
Yes, exactly. And do you know when that song came out? If you had
Oh,
to guess, just think back. When did that song come out? Today, how many years ago?
15.
I was shocked by this statistic. Any other guesses?
See what people think. I'm so happy we have an audience today. Wasn't sure Memorial Day
It was
weekend.
only 7 years ago.
7 years ago?
Zoanne got it right, 2018.
It feels like a classic.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Lynn said 1997, and I
Wow.
wasn't even born then, and I knew that song. So, anyway, great to have you guys. Let's start with our green, yellow, red. How are you today? Green, great, yellow, so-so, red, just red, like your skirt.
Shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Green, 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 green. Wow, is this because of like no one not green joined, or I'm not green today, just
Oh, you know,
for the record. So I'm gonna be the one that's gonna break the streak here. Yellow,
I
been sick all week
how
and
many
today.
people in our audience do you think will just, especially in the US where it is a long holiday weekend, people are just going to log off. They're done after this. That
After this, like
after this,
this is the last thing and then they're done.
I bet it's Friday,
Is
midday
that your
for some
plan?
of you. No, I still have another call.
Oh, with me?
Price is done. No, but we should.
Off to the best meeting in the world after this.
Oh, that's
Now the tea
exciting.
box. Oh, I love that.
Oh, I love it. Just don't
Yes.
tell anybody.
How are you, Jess?
I'm green. I'm a little tired. It was an early alarm this morning. It was a long day yesterday, but spent it with good people. Yeah, I'm green. Nothing to be read about. That's that's a good thing to say.
That is a good thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Um, good. Yeah, I'm actually I would be green, but I have like I'm a little yellow. And you know what I've learned this morning?
What?
I'm addicted to caffeine.
So have you had enough or not or too
I have
much?
to have I have to have a blood test done in 2 hours. So I've been fasting and I can't have caffeine. So literally, like today is probably the first day in wow. You see, it's all hitting me. It like this is the first day in probably years that I have not had caffeine by this time of the day.
You couldn't get that appointment scheduled earlier in the day?
Oh my God, Daryl. Yeah, my eyes. Yeah, it's a lot going on, a lot of shit going on here. At least not that same picture from last time, Daryl. You may have missed that. But yeah, but anyway, the grumpies will kick in after this for sure. No, I'm gonna have all this blood drawn in 2 hours, and then I'm gonna have the biggest frickin' cup of something, Monster Energy on top of caffeine, on top of C4, on top of Celsius. Jess, I'll call you from the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, but otherwise I'm good. It's been a great week. Spent a good part of the week in Utah, Deer Valley, which is great with some great friends, Jason Corsello, Thomas Otter, and Mark Newman, Josh Sweetie, so many Elaine Orler, so many people that I just loved. So it was I'm going to leave people out. Charlie Franklin.
Guess
So
who
many
our guest? I don't always tease guests, but guess who our guest is next Friday?
Yes. Oh my God. Thomas Otter's here.
He's here. Okay, Thomas, guess who our guest is next
Oh,
Friday?
now I think I know who the guest is. Now that you just did that. Charlotte?
Yep.
All right. Thomas's
Just
wife.
in time for her book launch. I can't wait. And guess who
Awesome.
told me to have Charlotte on the meetup? I can't believe I needed to be told. Thomas
Th-
said you should have
This
my
is so
brilliant mind.
exciting. This is so exciting.
I know.
We have to put a link. So I'll have to find it once I hate typing while I'm doing this, but I'll find the link and put it in the chat. Um, I think there's actually I read that there's some kind of I think she has a book promotion going on right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, we have
I'm
to
not
put
going to
it,
get the title right. I'm going to look it up really quick. But the
yeah,
gist of it is that the world needs new leaders. And I could not agree more.
this leadership book, you guys, from what I've seen so far, is so relevant in the time that we live in right now, and when it comes to change. I just wrote a piece on Substack yesterday, I believe it was, about 2019 strategy and how leadership is so important in the year 2025. And if you're still working off of 2019 strategy, you probably have something wrong, et cetera, 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 et cetera. So I'm really excited that Charlotte's going to be on. And you know, it's oh, there we go. Thank you for adding that
Mhm.
in, JC. The funniest part about that whole thing is that I saw Thomas this week, gave him a big hug, and of course, for those of you that know Thomas, he always is like an immaculate dresser. Like you should see the shoes he
Very
had on,
dapper.
Jess. His shoes were
Mhm.
so cool. I was so jealous of the shoes. And anyway, I said we need to get Charlotte on the meetup. And he's like, she's gonna be on. And I'm like, oh man. See, this shows how well I am equipped to do these.
Hey, we all have our jobs.
Yes, we all have day jobs. Yes, exactly. So the next thing we do every week is our one big thing. And once again, this is where all of you, not just us, reveal one big thing. And the one big thing could be very small. The one big thing could be big, it could be impactful, et cetera, et cetera. And Jess, I want to start with
Okay.
my one big thing. And I can't believe I don't have them with me. But my one big thing is, and I used them last night. I got the Meta AI glasses,
Oh yeah, I've tried them on.
the
I
Ray-Bans,
could
just
be
like,
tilted. Yes.
and I just have to tell you that they're brilliant.
They're really good. Like the audio quality alone.
The audio quality is really good. The ability to have conversations, except it looks weird when you're talking to yourself without AirPods in or anything like that, is
Yeah.
brilliant. The AI piece is brilliant. And the picture, the camera
Well,
and
yeah.
video is brilliant. To the point where, let me just share this story with you. And I know this it's not, this isn't that big of a thing. It's probably stupid now that I'm saying this, but now that I'm down this path, I may as well
Committed.
say.
Let's go.
Oh, look at this, Chris. This goes back to exactly what I'm about to talk about, only in a different kind of way. In my backyard, I live on a big kind of swampy area. So that didn't sound good, but
It's a wetland, a marsh.
wetland. Thank you. Yes, Jess, thank you. And I heard this crazy bird. I heard like this crazy, crazy bird. So I actually asked my glasses what that bird sound was, and it identified it correctly. And it said, "Would you mind taking a picture of the bird just to validate?" And took a picture of the bird and actually told me how old the bird was,
Uh-uh.
approximately.
Mm-hmm.
And so this bird was a sandhill crane. I don't know if anyone's ever seen a sandhill
Well, that
crane.
was a noisy bird. Okay.
It sounds like a pterodactyl. And I was like,
Oh,
what is this pterodactyl doing in our backyard? It was a sandhill crane, and it was making this weird like crackling noise. And sandhill cranes on average live to be 25 to 30 years old.
oh, you're stuck with that one.
Well, it goes away and comes. It's not, I'm not
Wow.
stuck with it. It's
I
only
bet
it's
they
only
come
here
back.
for a short period of time. I can't believe we're talking about this. But
Chris is
anyway,
very proud of your bird
anyway,
observation.
if anyone questions the ability to start thinking about wearables or devices with AI, and it leads into the most exciting AI announcement I had this week was Johnny Ives joining forces with OpenAI
Hmm.
to create a new device, not necessarily a wearable, but new device that I really think is going to change the world. That announcement, for those of you who didn't see, was just Wednesday. Uh, Johnny Ives was the person that designed the iPhone, the iPad, the iWatch or Apple Watch, et cetera, et cetera. So, and they have a new device that they're talking about releasing by the end of this year or early next. Nuance is another one, Mark, that is another really good innovation that I've been looking at, not because I can't hear, but I'm really watching this wearables device as I've been thinking a lot about Internet of Things and just how much data there is in the world and how AI is going to help us, um, not help us write poems, but help us in day-to-day life more and more. So that's my one big thing. I'm done. That was way too long. Sorry, Jess.
No, I love it. I love it. And my one big thing, I won't even comment on all my kids' milestones them. But this morning on the plane ride home, I clean out my LinkedIn about once a week. I go through my inbox, I accept connection
Well, I
requests.
do want to talk about LinkedIn also in a second. Sorry to
Okay,
interrupt.
I'll come back. But I do this like once a week, and sometimes it's a plane ride, sometimes it's a Friday afternoon. And there's something I have not automated on purpose, and I don't know that I want to. And that's when I accept connection requests, I always send a personal note back. If I know them, I comment on how I know them and the fact that we're not connected yet. If I don't know them, just a little hello and intro or just something personal. And yes, it's a copy paste, but there's always something I edit in there. And I know we can script, welcome messages on Substack and thanks for following, I know we can automate and script a lot of things. But this is something I still kind of enjoy doing. And somebody accepted back, I accepted, sent one of my notes, and he's just like a half hour ago, and he said, nobody ever sends a note back like this. And I looked at his profile. He's well connected to a lot of us. It's not that he has no connection. For him to say, wow, I send a million of these and nobody ever sends a personal note back. And that did make me wonder about how much we automate away. And would he have known or cared if this was like an auto reply that I had pre-scripted? I don't know. But that was just my little observation that sometimes and then of course I called somebody else the wrong name and he pointed it out and I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the copy paste. So sometimes we get it wrong too, but that's still something I enjoy doing for now.
So I always like reading the one big things
Yes.
because people on the podcast say they like it. We have a son graduated 5th grade and heads to middle school in August, which brings an interesting tear to my eye almost. Like, remember those days and enjoy them, Dominic. I know people always tell you this. I used to think people tell me this shit about enjoy every minute. As my kids get older, enjoy
Yeah.
it. Anniversary of Mount St. Helens erupting. Went back and watched the videos and remembered sometimes you go through times in the moment, you just deal with it. Oh, I really like that. Um, Thanks for sharing that. My sandhill crane got in the way. My husband and I are supporting his parents as they leave their home of 50 years. Oh man. Michelle, that is such a it also brings another weird, wow, I'm gonna start crying. It's maybe
Oh,
lack of caffeine. But yeah, that's a hard one, Michelle. My mother needs to do the same thing. She's not. But she is. Zach TJ Hawkinson, let's go. Skoll. Skoll
yep.
chant for anyone who doesn't know what that is. Zach, that's amazing news. I see. Thank you for putting your LinkedIn request there. My one big thing is related, Jess. I completed a training program for chief customer officers highlighting that AI will automate a lot, but need to leverage to spend time with humans, human moments. Love that. Nicole, I learned to use ChatGPT to make emails and surveys sound better. Uh, these are great. Thank
Awesome.
you guys for sharing. My mom's retiring today. Uh, Sending my colleagues to visit our teams in France and UK for the first time. These are
Wow.
great. I always love these. Like, this is my favorite. I mean, everyone has favorite parts of doing these things. This is my favorite part. Jess, I wanted to say one thing about LinkedIn, and I want to think about this one a little bit. I shared with you in the green room a little bit. I can't believe how many people are looking for jobs.
Mm,
Um, you know how it maybe we can talk about this in a few minutes because I want to talk about one big thing too. But what the unemployment rate is so low, yet there's so many people looking for jobs.
mhm.
Like, where's Bradley when we need him, right, to jump on right now
Um,
to talk
Yeah.
about this. Um, but anyway, I there's so many people looking for jobs. I was when you brought up LinkedIn, I was like, there's like 10 people a day that hit me up on LinkedIn and
Mhm.
say, have you heard anything? Do you know anything? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's kind of scary actually. But I can't quite, maybe people in the chat will talk about this, what the correlation is between a low unemployment rate and so many people looking for jobs.
It is interesting. Yeah, thank you, Steve. He's fantastic. I was so happy to be the first podcast. And we talked a little bit about labor demographics and the shifting of the workforce. I don't know what it means if it's lagging data or what's happening. I do think we're going to see a huge shuffling of the deck. I mean, if I had a deck of cards here, I'd do some fancy shuffling for you. Yes, I think mismatched skills. I think we're already starting to see impact on knowledge workers, professional services, even tech in some regard. I think But I think it's an interesting, I don't know how much forecasting we actually have when companies, even those in our own industry, are right sizing and riffing or making decisions. It still feels like we're probably making knee-jerk decisions, short-term reaction decisions to what the business needs or thinks it needs in the moment. I still don't know that we're looking far enough ahead to actually say with confidence, we know the roles are changing. We know people and recycle people into different parts of the organization. I still don't think, as much as we've been going on and on about skills-powered organizations, I still don't think anybody is making talent decisions today based on that kind of accurate forecasting. Or we'd see people being repurposed, recycled back into the org in different roles. I firmly believe it. I still think we're being casual and irresponsible with our talent as a supply chain.
Yeah, I think I love all these comments. Thank you guys for putting them in there. And hey, Jess, can I share you something real quick?
Sure.
Look at this.
I know. Okay. Bradley took a little liberty with my headshot, which is fine. I don't know that I've ever made that expression in my life.
This was just 2 days ago.
I
Like,
know.
I'm trying to figure out like what you're thinking in that photo.
Well, I don't think that's my face exactly.
Oh, that's not you?
It's me. I think it's an edit. It's a creative.
Oh,
But seriously, I don't care whatever Bradley needs to do to launch his podcast. The fact is, he got out of the gates really strong. Look at that. And I
oh,
love
it's your Amy Winehouse look. That's what I said.
No, I'm excited to see him take off so strong. He's one of these podcasters that does the really creative editing. So we just recorded, but then he goes back and he adds in all these like video montage effects.
Well,
No,
make sure you follow Bradley. We'll get him back on again sometime soon. I always got some amazing things to say. Just I want you to talk. Your other one big thing was your post, though.
oh, which one? I'm yapping all the time these days.
No, I'm talking about Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Like this
So,
weekend, I mean, for those of you that aren't familiar, and we probably should talk about it. This is the 5-year anniversary of the George Floyd weekend in Minneapolis. Shouldn't call it the George Floyd weekend. Sorry, that didn't sound good, but 5-year anniversary of the George Floyd incident in Minneapolis. And Jess, I thought your post was really, really powerful. I don't know if you want to talk about it at all, and if you don't, that's totally fine. But
I'm happy to.
if someone asked me what my one big thing for you was, are no longer calling it murder. That's another whole discussion, Steve. The George Floyd murder. Yes, the George Floyd murder in Minneapolis 5 years ago. Sorry.
First of all, isn't it crazy to think that 5 years have passed since the onset of a global health pandemic, the George Floyd murder that created an entire cultural reaction, including every company on the planet confirming or producing some commitments around DEI and placing chief diversity officers, and there was budget and there were PR statements and there was such a strong global reaction to what had happened. And the fact that that was 5 years ago on Memorial Day, that happened in Minneapolis on the evening of Monday, a Memorial Day. So it was a holiday weekend. It was hot. I remember that day really, really well. And that's kind of what I wrote about. It's a personal reflection. It's a historical timeline of what went down that day and in the week following. But it also includes my own personal experience because I was living with my kids downtown, not in the heart of it, but in the heart of the reaction to it. Businesses were completely boarded up. security was pulled from my building, which at the time was a historic building. I couldn't get my own car out of the underground parking without a valet to pull it out for me because of the building. So I was sort of like trapped in my own building with my kids. I ended up leaving the city for a couple of weeks until things got back to normal. So I definitely had a much more personal experience of those events than if I had lived out in the suburbs where I used to live.
So 5 years later, like think about 5 years. Like that's crazy. And reading your post, by the way, it was a really powerful post. Thank you for taking the time to write it. Um, like where do you think we are now compared to where we were 5 years ago?
Unfortunately, we're about 5 steps further behind than where we were before that even happened. Like we didn't just go back to square one. We've retreated back into history, which is really disheartening. Because when institutions, not just corporate America, but institutions, media, government, yes, corporate America, when we say something matters to humanity and we make value statements around it and we put our mission, statements around it, that shouldn't sway like a weather vane. It shouldn't change with the administration. It shouldn't trend as a popular or unpopular topic. If you say your people are important to you and how you show that and how you deliver on those promises and how you conduct yourself, how you make decisions, that's not a timely trending sort of topic that comes and goes. That's how we've been treating it. That's how we treated it when we all responded post George Floyd. We all made mission statements and PR and we did all these things. And then just as easily, 5 years is not a lot of time. It is and it isn't. We pulled it all back. We either failed to deliver on the promises we made or we pulled it all back and said it didn't matter in the first place. So we can't seem to make up our minds on how people expect and deserve to be treated and how we intend to follow through on those promises. And that's incredibly disheartening to me.
No, thank you for sharing that. As I was thinking about you, as I was thinking about you talking, we can't really seem to make up our minds about much of anything. Um, it doesn't seem like.
Makes you wonder how we're going to make progress. We just keep like clawing at the ground that we've won and lost many times over. Like how does humanity progress? And then you throw things like AI into the equation. How are we going to have ethics and responsibility and bias mitigation? Like we can't even get fundamental things right and hold that ground. And yet we're supposed to make progress with crazy, poorly understood innovation swirling around our heads, and we can't even get the basics right. It's a little scary.
Yeah, it is a little scary, and it was really interesting. Some people that are frequent listeners know that my oldest son, who's 20, is living in Asia, and he's late last night. He sent me a WhatsApp that basically just said, "WTF are you doing?" And I was like, "About to go to bed," and he goes, "No, I'm talking about the Americans."
Oh, now he's not one of
I
us.
know he's not. He's no longer one of us, which was fascinating. And, he did. I'm sure he listened, so he didn't really mean it like that. But he's like, "You're stopping people from going to Harvard, coming from international school, or coming from outside the United States." Um, we wake up this morning with new tariffs saying Apple's going to have tariffs
Oh,
unless
God
they
forbid.
manufacture iPhones, which I don't know where they're going to do that in the United States. New tariffs on the EU. So, um, he's just like, I don't know what you guys are doing. But it was funny the way he said you guys
He has
like that.
he has disassociated.
Yeah, it is it's a crazy time. But hey, we wanted to do a little bit of fun today, getting into Memorial Weekend, with you guys. Sorry, we had a long discussion there. But would love to jump in. And Jess, you want to reveal? You guys all get ready because we're all going to play together here.
Okay, so flying in the door, and within an hour of this meetup, I asked ChatGPT to make a
Oop,
game
oop.
show. Oh, that one thing.
Oh, yeah.
What did somebody in our workshop in Vegas a few weeks ago said, I live very happily with my AI. We're a very happy couple. I would be so sad if I woke up and my AI was gone tomorrow. That cracked me up. So I asked my partner in crime to make us a little game show for the community today. And
Cool.
we have such great people on with us today, so you have to play with us because
So,
seriously,
are you the Pat Sajak?
sure.
Okay.
So we'll start. So I've just got a few of these, but I want all of you to play with us because I really want to hear what's in your heads. These are really good questions. The first one. Okay, we'll start with the first one. It's don't think of one big thing. What's on fire this week? A headline, trend, tweet, or moment that made you laugh, pissed you off, or made you roll your eyes? What's the hottest or most ridiculous take from this week? So is there a headline? Is there a moment? Is there something you saw that you were like, what in the world? Or it just amused you? Jason, was there anything for you?
Wow, I have two, but
Ooh,
these are gonna be so like
Steve said the big beautiful bill passed.
oh,
Okay.
the big beautiful bill. Yes. Mine are gonna be goofy. But they're not actually they're not gonna be goofy, but I don't know why I'm so serious today. I think there's two things. First, and please, no, someone don't hold this against me. The new release of Anthropic
Mm.
Claude came out yesterday. And for those of you that haven't tried it, once again, we're in this weird model war. Or I shouldn't call it a war, but it just they keep getting better. It's an amazing
Oh, it's
model.
a land grab for sure.
I would try it. That really caught my eye and it really interested me because Gemini just came out last week with something better. If you haven't tried VEO to create some videos in Gemini, you should try it. Um, Claude just came out. The Apple announcement I already said. But the other thing that I think is really, really important that at least in the HR tech space to watch is if anyone noticed Workday's earnings release yesterday, it was really bad.
Mm.
Um, and this is something that, and I'm not trying to say that I'm right or wrong, but it's something I've been talking about now for at least 3 months, maybe 6 months, is that we're seeing a massive sea change in the world of enterprise software. And for those of you that don't see that, you will continue to see it, where organizations just aren't spending millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on these big, heavy, monolithic systems that instead of working the way that they want to work, make people work the way that the systems work.
Yeah.
And I just think it's going to continue to be a big trend going forward. The days of us working with software that make us design our businesses around it instead of designing the software around our business are over. And I think that all of these enterprise software vendors are going to have a big, big shift.
Yeah. I love you guys got nailed all of the headlines and I probably
I know
missed some.
all these headlines, and look at mine are so geeky. Like these are all of these are so much more important than 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 mine.
The Workday headline, I missed it last week. I just saw it yesterday while I was sitting in a room of 50 analysts, and I felt like I was the last one to see it. So the Workday lawsuit is interesting. It's been around for a couple of years. I think it was last summer. The judge green lighted it to move forward. This is a viable lawsuit. Let's see what happens. And last week, it got another green light to go class action, which is so there's still no read it correctly, there's still no indication of culpability, liability. It's just saying it can proceed and this can play out in court, and now it can play out as a class action lawsuit. So sitting next to all these brilliant analysts, as I was, I asked a few what they thought, and they said, it's about to become a shit show. And I guess what that means, if you're a tech provider, if you're building this stuff, auditability, documentation, like you've really got to have, like, nobody's going to stop building. I think you have to be really careful and thoughtful about the auditability of what you're putting out there. I think the documentation of feedback in these systems, showing where and how humans are in the loop. So yes, hiring manager feedback, recruiter, I think that's probably going to be key here. And I think if you're a customer considering using technology like this that automates parts of the interview process or any part of a talent life cycle, again, I think documentation is everything, showing exactly where and how human decisions are enforcing what the technology is automating for you. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Jess, and I just really quickly, Michelle made a really good point. Just so you know, and it has nothing to do with our feelings one way or another about Workday.
Right.
It's more than just Workday. It just happens
Yes.
to be
It
that
just,
that's
this happens to be Workday. This is going to be everybody in the
yes.
spot.
And what I said about enterprise software, it just happened to be about the earnings release that came out last night. And their stock is down as of when we went on the air not that long ago, about I should check it in real time, about 12%. So just lots of change going on in that whole space.
Yeah, for sure.
Just can we do one that's more fun?
Okay, let's see. Let's do, oh. All right, let's try this one. Let's do banter it out, okay? There's 3 of them here. One thing that's changing fast, one thing that hasn't changed at all, and one thing that people are pretending to understand but probably don't. Is that lighter?
It's not really much lighter, but do you want to start with this one
Yeah.
instead of me?
Tammy says technology is changing fast. Is it? Is it?
Whenever I see Tammy, all I think about is Dairy Queen. Based on the fact that I'm fasting for this blood test and I can't have caffeine or food, like can we just talk about Dairy Queen and Memorial Weekend and the good
My
old
favorite
days?
My favorite blizzard is a Butterfinger blizzard. And Steve says his love for barbecue has not changed. Social acceptance. One thing that's changed. Okay, I agree, of course, Tammy, that
Oh, look at
technology.
Lynn, technology, Dairy Queen, and Gen Z. I love that.
Oh, I love that. Summer and ice cream. All lake time is still the best time. See, this is very nice and lighthearted.
Yes, go ahead.
Technology is changing fast, Tammy, but it's not, I don't think we're changing the right things. Jason, you talk a lot about the use of voice, the power of voice and natural language processing. We still have, like, I sit through all these analyst things, and I'm not speaking about anybody in particular, but we still have menus and traditional navigation and search and find and hunt and peck. And like, why is it taking us so long to change some of these? Like, I know UI is a great UI. I don't. So yes, it's changing so fast, but it also stops me. Much stuff, like legacy stuff, we leave in place. It's astounding. Daryl's waistline is changing fast. Oh, I like that. Not changing, people's resistance to change. People pretending to understand what they want to do with AI. Ben's is good. The branding change from Max to HBO Max, all over the place. It changed like 5 times in the last 10 years. Tom Thibodeau overplaying his key players and Trump. People pretending to understand Trump. That's an interesting answer. Yeah, you're kind of making my point, Bryce, with that one. I just told someone today, people are asking, why don't we have flying cars yet? And you're saying, why do we need cars at all? That's like when ChatGPT, we all started using Gen AI to do job descriptions faster. I'm like, why are we? We're not asking the right questions here. The days or times seem to be moving fast. Dominic, do you think that depends on what age and stage of your life you're in. I do feel like I'm in an age and stage of my life where the days feel like they're in fast forward. I wonder if that slows down ever, and it feels like I'm in more of like a regular pace or even like a 0.8 pace. Maybe I'm looking forward to that.
So just like for me, one thing that's changing. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be quite positive on some stuff that I've seen this week, related to, related to just AI in general. One thing that's changing fast is people realizing that AI without humans is nothing.
Hmm.
I really believe that. I think that that's becoming more and more seen and the norm. And someone gave a clap. I don't like that's. I actually believe it. I believe it, but I actually think that people are starting to realize that a probabilistic AI tool is not going to replace humans. It's going to help humans. Uh, Dr. Thomas Otter, who was on earlier, it's probably past his bedtime, did a brilliant speech earlier this week that he, just like Jess, you need to record your reading of the Minneapolis event. He needs to record that speech because it was truly brilliant. And he just did a really good job of trying to get rid of a lot of the hype cycle that goes into this and thinking about how do we bring this back to reality a little bit and how it's going to help us all. For me, one thing that hasn't changed at all is people still working the old way.
Hmm.
Like the number of people that are still talking about doing their performance reviews next year, once a year, or still doing, their job evaluations once a year the same way, or did you go put your goals in the system? Uh, that's not changed. So I really don't think we've changed the muscle internally. Um, as I it's early. It's really early, so I'm not blaming anyone, but I think we're going to watch exponentially, not incrementally, that change going forward is the cycle of how work works.
Yeah.
And then I think that the thing that people are pretending to understand but don't, I assume you're just talking about in the HR particular space right now, is that change is hard.
Hmm.
And when I say that, I know that I don't think people are pretending to understand that, but they don't understand what it takes to change. It's not something called change management. It's not a line item on an SOW called change management. It's not a portal or an intranet. It's not a communications tool. Change is really hard. In fact, someone said something to me earlier today, that I wrote down on a piece of paper that I loved. And and now I can't. This is what happened. Oh, this is what. Oh, shoot. This is what happens when I write stuff down. Oh, uh, the biggest value slice for us to realize in an AI world is the change, not the software.
Hmm.
The biggest value slice, this was a CEO of a software company, is the change, not the software. And I truly, truly, truly agreed and liked that. Sorry, I didn't. I'm not completely disorganized always and have random pieces of paper, but my notebook wasn't in here, so I used that piece of paper. Sorry.
So, uh, you just hired a new VP of platform and AI, and he came with Suresh, their new global chief product officer, from Adobe. So these guys know platform. And that reminds me of something he said yesterday that I also wrote down in my notes. It's not about the number of agents you can build or how fast. That seems to be the land grab right now. It's about the unlocks for the customer. And the unlocks for the customer are value that you have to achieve through change. So like it doesn't matter what you're automating, it's about the value unlocks. And I also love speaking of technology changing and how fast, selling interfaces and software anymore. You should be selling problem solving. I thought that was a really great perspective from somebody who's the literal head of their product, of their platform and AI. I think that's the right value perspective to be had.
Brad, I love your point there. People saying something is hard, but aren't ready to experience what hard means, and not even, and not experience it, but not even know what hard means. Yeah, it's right. It feels like saying it's something that you're done with.
Okay,
Okay, next, Jess.
how about a fun one? I've got a few ask us anything questions, and we're gonna play it with you guys. Here's a fun one. What is, now I'm picking. Okay. What's one thing you wish, I don't know why it's called this fun, make it fun. One thing you wish every CEO really knew about work today. I picked a different one. What's one thing you wish every CEO knew about work today?
Holy cow.
Jason doesn't
This,
like my questions.
no, this is like, this is hard. Like, these are not, this is not the fun I was expecting going into Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, see, Dominic just put fun. Uh um wow. So I wish, well, excuse me. So I'm going to answer this, of course, with nuance. I think most CEOs know what work is, but also in public companies, I'm specifically speaking of public companies, have different responsibilities to shareholders, unfortunately, than they do to humanity. So,
Mm.
to your question, I wish, say, what was your question again?
What's one thing you wish every CEO knew about work today?
I wish every CEO knew that they should be open and honest about what work is. They should be
Mm.
open and honest about change. And I wish that every CEO knew that they're constantly under the microscope of every one of their employees, excuse me, as to whether they're living the values that they espouse.
Mm. I love that. Bob, I love yours, that some of your organization's best ideas and people go completely under the radar.
I
Uh,
love that. That is so good. That's much better than mine, but Dr. Pulver, much better than mine.
Mine is, I bet most CEOs would be shocked and disheartened and really angry, actually, if they knew how poorly aligned most of the workforce is. I think that we do a really strong job of communicating vision and mission and even value prop and behavior expectations, but it all comes down to execution. And when you start trickling that messaging and throughout the organization, like just watch how many layers deep it goes before it starts fizzling out and then disappears completely. I think the vast majority of the workforce feels loosely aligned at any given moment. And I think most leaders would be horrified if they understood how quickly that happens for most people.
Okay, can we do something fun?
Yeah. What do you want to, you want to make one up?
No, no,
Want me
this is your game, dude.
Okay. Best boss you ever had and why?
Oh, the best boss. The best boss I ever had was when I was 17 years old. His name was, I think I've talked to him about on this show before. His name was Dino Hernandez, and he uh had faith in me. He had faith in me. Um and let me do what I thought was right. And
Mm.
as a 17-year-old working with a bunch of 30-year-olds at the time, um, let me truly be who I was, and let me make mistakes, let me break glass, but also let me bandage myself up afterwards and live to fight another day. So that, for me, that was my best boss.
Oh, I love it. Kristen hasn't had her best boss yet. I love it. You're holding the bar high. Melanie loved me, believed in me, thought I was so smart. Leah, I love that. Alicia said, my former boss, Tanya, we know Tanya, believed in me, trusted me, and made me do uncomfortable things. I like that, pushing you outside your comfort zone because she knew you could. My hospital IT boss truly cared about us and went to bat for us with the administration. Ah, I love these.
What
Janet,
about you,
who's the
Jess?
CEO. Um, I don't know that I've ever had a truly, there's just one. I've only had one bad boss. And she was actually a friend of mine, so it was unfortunate that she was a bad boss, and there's probably reasons for that. I've had a lot of good bosses, and I agree with all of the comments about trusting in you and sort of believing in you. Um, I think trusting in you includes letting you make mistakes, even if they realize you're probably like you might screw up once or twice. And even if they can see it happening, we do this with kids. Those of you who are raising kids, you know, this is very much like parenting. You can kind of see what might play out. Maybe this isn't the right decision, but you have to sort of let it happen anyway, because it's better for them to learn their own lessons. I've had a lot of bosses like that, including you, Jason. You put a lot of trust and faith in me, even if neither one of us know if something is going to work out. You let me figure it out for myself.
Yeah, I just hate the word boss.
I know. For those
So
of you who don't know, Jason does not allow a single person to say they work for Jason. Everyone works with Jason.
yeah, and it drives me, yeah, you know, the word boss, it all drives me crazy. But yes,
Yeah.
uh, understand the question. It was ChatGPT. What is what's the one more fun one?
Okay, I just asked ChatGPT. Jason doesn't like my game. He wants a fun, lighthearted question next. Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
If your HR tech stack were a cocktail, what would it be called and what's in it? This is all ChatGPT. Here are some questions that it offers. See, people are kitchen sink. I like that. Here's one example: a compliance colada instead of a pina colada. Tastes great, but gives you a policy hangover. A data daiquiri, fruity on the front, impossible to make without 5 integrations. A quiet quitkery. What's a quit? Looks great. No one's really drinking it.
Are you reading some of these? I love the slushy mess, Long Island iced tea, kitchen sink,
Everything in it.
Wapatula, work teeny, straight up.
I like
Now what you saw in the demo. Oh,
it.
that's a good one. That's a really good one.
The slushy mess. Yes, Frank. Head spinner. That's a good one.
You know
Complex.
what I would call ours?
Hmm.
Is this
Old. I know. An old fashioned.
No, that is a good one. I was actually gonna be a little more creative though.
Okay.
Mine was gonna be FUD,
Oh.
and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say what the FUD means.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
gonna say FUD. FUD slinger, that could be.
Well, I did my best on the game show today. You
Mine wasn't fear, uncertainty, and doubt though. For those, it wasn't. That's not what it meant.
okay?
Messy
Oh,
mule. I like messy mule.
do we get to know what FUD? By the way, you told me in the green room you had an announcement. Have we heard it yet?
Okay. Well, just so you know, as we sign off, I hope you all have a great Memorial weekend. For those of you in the US, for those of you not in the US, thanks for joining us and listening to us. Um, my big announcement,
God.
which was not that big of an announcement, Jess, was just that I'm addicted to caffeine. And because all I've been doing is drinking water to get ready for this blood test, I have to go to the bathroom. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Love you all, and see you next week with none and only Charlotte Otter.
I love it. Thank you,
Take care,
everybody.
everyone.
Have a
Bye.
good weekend. Bye-bye.